Hi, I'm Melissa Fuller with Shape of the City, and we are at the Malone Community Center. I am with Dania DeLone. She is a community breastfeeding educator, and we are going to learn about what the Malone Center is doing with breastfeeding right now.
Yes, so the Malone Center has collaborated with the CDC and Partnership for Healthy Lincoln so that we can boost the breastfeeding rates in minorities.
That's amazing. Talk about why is this so important?
Well, I don't know if you know, but our Black infants are 21% less likely to have ever had breast milk versus their white and Asian counterparts. So breastfeeding is extremely important because it really reduces the risk of SIDS, childhood obesity, diabetes, asthma, leukemia, just to name a few. And for these mothers, they reduce their risk greatly with cervical cancer, breast cancer, and diabetes. But there's so much more than that.
Can you give us more details on this program and how it's going to work?
So this program and these groups are going to be led by me, a certified breastfeeding educator, and I am going to be empowering, educating, and encouraging all breastfeeding moms to go ahead and come to my Breastfeeding Moms Support Club, to our teen empowering support groups. And I'm also having a Breastfeeding 101 courses for our families. Transportation will be provided, and all of this initiation will be started in August because August is our Breastfeeding Awareness Month.
So are there any other events or activities that are going on that are related to breastfeeding, especially in August?
Yes, we will actually be hosting a chocolate milk documentary, and this documentary really follows Black mothers on their breastfeeding journey, and it discusses the barriers our mothers and our families are facing. The chocolate milk also kind of examines the influence of race and sex on the breastfeeding rates for African American mothers. Through these women's stories, we'll be able to explore the breastfeeding declines and the undue health burden that this places on our Black infants, as well as the struggle to just bring this back as a cultural norm.
There are viewers out there that are really interested in maybe a new mom or someone who may know a new mom who needs some support. What should they do?
They definitely need to contact the Malone Center, as well as reach out to our Facebook page and make sure that they keep watching for our dates and times for our events that will be going on. Know that they are never alone. I'm here to support you. You have a huge community behind you of support. So please come get supported and know that there are no right or wrong answers. Everybody needs help, and just a little support can help anyone.
Thank you so much for this program, and it's one more amazing program at the Malone Center. We look forward to seeing what's happening with it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's so great that the parks are tobacco-free zones.
I know it's so much cleaner and healthier for the kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind not smoking so close to the park? It's a tobacco-free playground. Thank you.
Play cleaner.
Play healthier. Play tobacco-free. Juega libre de tabaco. Play tobacco-free.
Drowning can happen in an instant, anywhere there's water. Put down your phone and supervise your child. It could save their life. Make sure that your kids are always in view and they will have a great summer.
It's everybody's responsibility to be fire safe. Improper cigarette disposal is one of the leading causes of fires in homes.
As someone who's been a victim of a cigarette-related fire, I ask you to put out your cigarette safely.
One flick can ruin many lives.
Please, put out your cigarette safely.
Learn how to stop the fire before it starts. Visit tobaccofreelancastercounty.org for information about safe cigarette disposal.
Hello, I'm Melissa Fuller with Shape of the City. There's increasing evidence that links physical activity with improved learning. To learn more about how that is affecting kiddos in the Lincoln, Nebraska area, I am with Matt Avey with Lincoln Public Schools and Bob Rauner with Partnership for Healthy Lincoln. Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right, so let's get right in here. What is the importance of aerobic fitness?
Okay, well, by aerobic fitness, we don't mean like strength training, but like more running, cardio type stuff. And actually, they measured both, and it turns out the cardiorespiratory or aerobic fitness is the one that most is associated with things like longer term living, for example, but also improvement in math, reading, and science scores. And so the evidence is that actually you learn better when you're aerobically fit for a lot of different reasons.
And how is that measured? How are we knowing how that's affecting our kids?
Well, the good news is Lincoln Public Schools measures that in all our kids, especially 4th through 8th graders, and so that's something that Matt's in charge of.
Mm-hmm. So we measure in Lincoln Public Schools aerobic capacity, aerobic fitness through a test called the PACER, and it's an intermittent recovery test that students will essentially run laps back and forth on a gym to a specific cadence until they can no longer essentially meet that cadence, and then they are out and we count their score. We do that through, like Dr. Rauner said, through all students grades 4 through 8 with fidelity, and we've had great percentage of test completion every year. And then Dr. Rauner's office and Partnership for Healthy Lincoln take that data and are able to actually do a lot with that data to let us know a little bit more about how aerobically fit our students are.
Well, how has the trend been so far?
Well, good news, we started measuring 4th through 8th grade in 2011, so we have 8 years of data now. We made a lot of improvement in the first 5 years, and the last couple of years kind of plateaued a little bit. There's some things that are just hard to change, and so unfortunately one of the things we see is that kids in lower socioeconomic areas of the town tend to have worse fitness, unfortunately, and so there's a lot of disparities actually. But we have a couple of bright spots still, and one of the bright spots is actually Park Middle School, which kind of bucks that trend. So despite being in somewhat of a lower income and a Title I school, their fitness numbers are actually almost as good as some of the wealthier schools, and so something's going right there.
Mm-hmm. Are there other things that are really working, especially in LPS?
Well, yeah, Bob alluded to a couple things, particularly Park, and I'd love to highlight some of the things they're doing. In the last year and a half, they've really taken a fitness focus initiative, and they've hired a couple folks that are in the fitness industry and also physical education teachers, and they've brought some unique ideas to how they incorporate fitness, not just into a specific fitness lesson, but into every single engaging physical education lesson plan. We've taken teachers from across the state over there to kind of watch some of their model programming, and we think, the data is showing that it's making a difference. So it's definitely something we want to take a look at to try and provide in other middle schools as well.
And it may not just be in the school day, too. So Park has one of the largest after-school programs run by the Boys and Girls Club, mm-hmm. and they add some fitness programming mm-hmm. activity in their programming as well. So it's not just a school fix, it's a whole community fix. So I think there's actually some pretty good evidence that it's not just what's happening in the schools, but also their after-school program. And if those two can work together, I think you can actually remove some of these disparities, which is
mm-hmm.
great.
Are there some general ideas that work in terms of LPS or schools that seem to be working in the last few years?
Yeah, I think Bob hit the nail on the head with some of the after-school programming that you were utilizing. Some of our elementary PE teachers are going to have to try and get creative in terms of how they get physical activity into their kids, because they might be on a 1 to every 3 or 4 or sometimes 5-day rotation where the kid won't see physical education for maybe 5 days. So how do we get more physical activity going with them? For example, Belmont's offering fitness nights and PE nights with the family, community nights on Friday nights, where occasionally every few weeks the PE teacher opens up the rec center. Parents can come engage in physical education lessons with the kid. It's not just a drop-off thing, but that also encourages family members to get active too with their students, and they've had some success with that. And we've had some other after-school clubs that have done some great things with physical activity as well.
Yeah. The other thing that may be helping a little bit, we know that some kids in lower income neighborhoods lose fitness over the summer, and sometimes programming over the summer that can help. And Lincoln Parks and Rec for the last 3 years is also doing the same fitness testing. They've actually shown improvement in fitness when the kids mm-hmm. attend their summer youth programming. So F Street Rec, for example, is not too far away, and has some of those same kids. And so there may be also not just during the school year, but even during the summer programming, this may be helping it as well.
What about challenges? What are the biggest challenges to getting something like this going? I think you mentioned a little bit with the elementary schools, but are there other challenges?
That's a primary challenge for us, and it's one we're constantly looking to figure out solutions for, is time. How do we meet the needs of student fitness in the given school day? And we've had to get creative. Like Dr. Rauner said, we've got a lot of after-school program that's trying to support what we're doing. But another challenge would be just trying, even within the physical education setting, trying to focus not just on aerobic fitness, even though we know that's a number one priority, particularly with student engagement, student learning in the classroom, but we've got a lot of other things to teach in PE as well. So it kind of goes back to that time, but it's a matter of priority, for us.
Yeah. Another thing is actually just the design of the neighborhood. And so one reason lower income neighbors sometimes don't have as many fit kids is because there's just not as much much safe area to play, for example. So having adequate park space, which is one of the cool things that's happening. There's going to be a focus on Cooper Park, which is in that neighborhood, to try and revitalize that. We've done that with other neighborhoods like Belmont Park and Peter Pan Park. I think Peter Pan Park is a great success story. What it used to be like 10, 15 years ago versus what it looks like now. It's a much better place for kids to get active and play.
Right, so viewers, whether they're parents or just they're involved with youth, what advice do you have for them? What can they do to help make a difference?
I would just say try and get engaged with your kid in physical activity. I mean, I think it makes a big difference when that student's able to not only go to school and be physically active, but to come home and engage with their family in physical activity as well. And it doesn't have to be anything too extreme. You know, we're not talking about having to get out and play a game of soccer, but it might be as simple as, hey, let's go for a bike ride. Let's get out and get to the park and you know, we can play in the park. The facilities that we have in our neighborhood, let's try and utilize those as a family.
Yeah, like an example, I live across from behind Leffler Middle School, and I see that both Leffler Middle School's grounds and the Piedmont Park grounds being used all the time. Last night we were walking the dogs, and there's 2 softball teams out there practicing. Most of the spring we've had a lacrosse group out in front of the park, soccer teams playing, and so and all these different things. The more we utilize that space, the better. And one thing that Lincoln does is that the schools are used pretty much all day long and even into the night sometimes, and so having those grounds be used up until 9 and 10 p.m. is a great thing to see.
Perfect. Thank you guys for all the information, and we'll keep working on making it better for the kids.
Excellent. Thank you.
What if you could add 5 years to your child's life and make your whole family healthier with simple changes? Partnership for Healthy Lincoln wants to help you and your family live longer, healthier lives. It's easier than you think. Take the dog for a walk, play more and text a little less. Swap out a soda for water once a day. Keep fruits and veggies handy for snacking. For more ideas, visit healthylincoln.org.
Kids, get off your phone. You need to pay attention to the road. Or else there might be tar, or wet cement, or a car. Please, get off your phone, or you might end up with a broken bone. Your phone may seem like it's all that, but staying alive is where it's at.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, the Community Outreach Specialist at LES.
And I'm Rachel, Communication Specialist at LES, and we're going to talk to you about the LES Sustainable Living Festival.
So this is our 9th annual festival, and it is the only festival in town that brings together about 30 community partners. It's tons of fun. It's going to be July 27th. Down in the rail yard from 9 to noon. It's for ages basically 0 to 108, and you can come out and get your hands dirty and do all kinds of things. So we put this festival on because as your public power utility, we feel like it's socially responsible to make sure that people are using energy wisely as well as doing the right thing for our planet.
Yeah, and it's super fun. I took my little boy last year and he got to make seed balls and he got to play with worms and just get dirty. We learned about composting and he even had fun looking at the Teslas. So there's literally something for everybody to do there.
LES will be unveiling their educational interactive tiny house this year. So you'll have to come down and see what that's all about. And then every year we ask our festival partners to bring something new. So in the field of sustainability, it's always changing. So it's really important for people to come down and learn what's new with recycling, composting, cycling. We will always be having giveaways, so we're going to be giving away smart thermostats, bicycles, reusable bags, and all kinds of other stuff from different partners.
And we're here with one of our really awesome partners, Dana with Really Good Bike Shop.
It's great to be here. I'm really excited to attend the LES Festival. It's a great opportunity to share our knowledge about cycling and how it can be an alternative to other forms of transportation. There's exciting things like pedal assist bikes that a lot of people have a great time on, and that's why we come to the festival to show those things off.
And as a reminder, the Sustainable Living Festival is July 27th in the rail yard from 9 to noon. See you there.
Shape of the City is dedicated to keeping Lincoln informed of health and wellness programs and events. Visit our calendar at lincoln.ne.gov, keyword Wellness Calendar. If you'd like to see your program or event covered, email us at LNKTV Health at lincoln.ne.gov.